You click because something inside you refuses to be ordinary. You want presence, the kind that shifts a room without shouting. You want influence, the kind that makes people lean in before you say a word. You want results, quietly, ruthlessly, efficiently. In this video, I'll give you 15 laws, Machiavellian truths retooled for modern life, that teach you how to build an aura, so commanding it bends people's behavior to your will. You'll learn how to forge a presence that commands attention the moment you enter a room. Shape what others believe about you, so they follow before they think. Use silence, timing, scarcity, and calibrate emotion to make your moves invisible and inevitable. Transform inner darkness into disciplined, unshakable power. Stay until the end. I'll give you a daily ritual that ties every law together. The one practice Machiavellian leaders use to become quietly unstoppable. If you're ready, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this. Number 1. The aura control. How to command respect without saying a word. Power begins before you speak. People sense it. A weight, a stillness, and change their tone, posture, and intent without thinking. That invisible force is the aura of control. It's not charisma. It's not volume. It's the engineered presence that makes silence do the heavy lifting. If you want to build that presence, hit like, subscribe, and comment aura now. Do it before we get any deeper. Make the choice to change how people meet you. The dark truth. Presence is psychology, not magic. Aura isn't mystical. It's biological. In under 3 seconds, the human brain decides, friend, foe, or hierarchy. Your posture, gaze, breathing, and tempo give the brain data, and it reacts. Machiavelli taught rulers to manage appearances because people believe what they see. Your job is to give them something worth believing. The 3 core laws TO build a ruthless aura, fast practical steps. 1. Move with stillness. Slow your movements. Let others rush. You command the tempo. Even small delays, 3 centisecond pauses, give you perceived control. 2. Speak like gravity. Lower your tone slightly. Shorten your sentences. Use silence as punctuation. When you speak rarely and precisely, words gain weight. 3. Control the gaze. Hold eye contact longer than social norm. Calmly, not stare and provoke. The unbroken gaze measures others, makes them reveal themselves. Why this works. The psychology of unreadability. When people can't predict you, their minds try harder to understand you, and in that hurry, they project power onto you. Mystery amplifies perceived ability. The less you reveal, the more they invent. And imagination inflates reputation faster than facts ever could. This isn't about cruelty or manipulation for harm. It's about self-command. Using presence to protect your boundaries, increase respect, and lead with clarity. Abuse of these tools damages you as much as others. You now have the foundation, stillness, tone, and gaze. But attention alone doesn't sustain power. We'll learn how to make the world believe the story you wanted to believe, to control the mirror that reflects you. Number 2, the Machiavellian mirror. How to control what they see and think about you. People don't see you. They see the version of you their mind can handle. And once they decide who you are, they treat that illusion as gospel. The powerful never fight this. They engineer it. Because if you can control what people think they're seeing, you can move through any room like a god wearing a smile. Pause right here. Type, I shape what they see. That single act begins a shift from being observed to being the architect of perception. The truth Machiavelli understood. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, he wrote, because all can see a thing, but few can understand it. Reality bends the presentation. The calm leader looks competent. The restless one, weak. The silent man in the corner, they call him dangerous because they can't read him. 3 tactics to master the mirror. 1. Speak less, signal more. Every unnecessary word sells power for cheap. Say little, let tone and posture speak the rest. 2. Stay unreadable. People fear what they can't decode. Don't correct their assumptions. Guide them with micro-expressions and silence. 3. Own your narrative. Tell the story of you first, and often, if you don't define your image, someone else will, and they'll weaponize it. Whisper this. I control my reflection. I reveal nothing by accident. My silence creates belief. Why this works? The mind hates uncertainty. When people can't read you, they fill the blanks with admiration or fear, whichever emotion preserves their comfort. And here's the secret. Both admiration and fear serve power. They keep eyes on you. They make others adjust to your rhythm. The final insight, the reflective play. Power doesn't need proof. It only needs a reflection that never cracks. Every glance, every pause, every silence. Polish for your mirror. Protect it. Control it. Let them see what strengthens you and hide what still grows. Say this now. They see what I choose. They believe what I project. I am the mirror and the mask. You can now command how people see you. Next, the force that makes them feel what you want them to feel. Because once you master emotion, perception obeys. The art of ruthless calm. How stillness becomes the ultimate dominant signal. Number 3. The art of ruthless calm. How stillness becomes the ultimate dominant signal. In a world addicted to noise, stillness is power. The loudest one in the room seeks validation. The calm one commands it. The weak react. The strong observe. And those who master calm bend chaos itself to their will. Before we go deeper, type this in the comments. My calm is my weapon. Because from this moment forward, your silence isn't emptiness. It's pressure. Every breath you take in control weakens the frantic around you. The Machiavellian law of stillness. Machiavelli wrote, "He who masters himself masters all." He understood that leaders, manipulators, and visionaries all share one invisible signal: emotional control. When you stay calm while others lose composure, you become the axis around which their panic spins. The human brain craves stability. When you embody it, people unconsciously defer to you. Your voice sounds wiser. Your presence feels safer. Even your silence feels like authority. Say this: I do not chase. I do not rush. I move when it's time. My calm controls the storm. The 3 laws of ruthless calm. 1. The law of delay. Never react instantly. A pause creates the illusion of control, and often it becomes control. 2. The law of neutral gaze. Keep your face unreadable. When they can't tell what you think, they reveal themselves faster. 3. The law of silent gravity. When everyone shouts, speak slowly. When everyone panics, move quietly. Stillness disrupts chaos. It forces attention to orbit around you. If you're learning to weaponize calm, hit like and comment. Stillness equals power. Because when you master this, people start lowering their voice around you without knowing why. The dark psychology behind calm. The calm mind manipulates faster than the clever mind. Because emotion clouds logic, and logic commands emotion. When you remain composed under pressure, others start over-explaining, defending, exposing weaknesses. They think your silence is judgment, but it's strategy. Your stillness makes them fill the silence with their own insecurity, until they talk themselves into submission. Say this quietly: my emotions serve me. My silence shapes reality. My calm is unbreakable. You've mastered the inner war, the calm within chaos. But real power doesn't end with control. It begins when your calm becomes contagious, when people follow your rhythm without realizing it. We'll uncover the emotional puppet strings, how to influence people without them realizing it. Number 4, the emotional puppet strings, how to influence people without them realizing it. Every person you meet has strings, emotions, desires, fears, and most people, they wear those strings in public, waiting for someone calm enough, cold enough, to pull them. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Influence doesn't come from dominance. It comes from precision. The ability to touch the right emotion at the right time. The dark machinery of emotion. Machiavelli once wrote, "Men are driven by 2 things, fear and self-interest. To manipulate, you must first observe. Listen not to words, but to tone. Watch what triggers someone's laughter, their irritation, their silence. Every emotion exposes a lever, and once you find it, you never need to push hard." Most people confuse empathy with compassion. But dark empathy is strategic awareness. You feel what they feel, not to comfort, but to calibrate. You mirror emotion to build trust, then lead it where you want it to go. Say this now. I don't react to emotion. I read it. I redirect it. The 3 strings that control human behavior. 1. The fear string. Everyone fears something: loss, rejection, insignificance. When you identify it, you control their urgency. 2. The ego string. Compliment strategically. Give validation, then withhold it. Watch loyalty form in confusion. 3. The desire string. Find what they crave: attention, power, approval, and position yourself as its gatekeeper. If you're learning something powerful, hit like right now and comment, "I see through emotion." Because what you're mastering is more than persuasion. It's silent control. You never need to argue. You guide. When someone resists, don't push back. Lean with their emotion. Agree. Absorb, then pivot. Influence feels like choice when done correctly. They think it was their idea. And that is the most dangerous form of control. Whisper this quietly. I understand emotion deeper than anyone. I use it with wisdom, not weakness. I am the calm that guides chaos. You've learned to pull strings, but there's another layer of mastery, the ability to hide your own. We enter the power of mystery, how to make people obsess over you without trying. Number 5, the power of mystery, how to make people obsess over you without trying. The less they know, the more they want to know. Mystery isn't silence. It's controlled revelation, showing just enough to spark curiosity, while concealing enough to ignite obsession. Machiavelli once wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand." People don't need to understand you. They just need to wonder about you. Type this in the comments before we dive deeper. I reveal nothing. I let curiosity do the work. Because you'll know how to make your presence magnetic, even in your absence. The machinery of mystery. Mystery is the art of tension. It thrives in contrast, between what's seen and what's hidden. Every powerful figure in history understood this. The general who never speaks until the final moment. The leader who reveals plans and fragments. The quiet man in a loud room. People don't chase clarity. They chase completion. The human brain hates gaps. So when you create one, it obsesses until it's filled. That's why mystery is more powerful than beauty, more lasting than charm, because it turns your existence into a puzzle, one they'll never stop trying to solve. Say this softly. I am seen but never fully known. I speak less, but my silence speaks louder. I am the question no one can answer. The 3 pillars of mystery. 1. Unpredictability. Never be fully predictable. Routine breeds comfort. Mystery breeds fascination. Change tone, timing, or reaction occasionally to keep others off balance. 2. Selective exposure. Reveal less than you know. When people sense there's more behind your words, their imagination fills and rests, often with admiration. 3. Calm silence. Silence is psychological pressure. The longer you stay quiet, the more others project meaning into your stillness. The paradox of revelation. Here's the trick. You must appear open, but never transparent. Share emotions, but not motives. Tell stories, but leave out endings. When you speak, give them 70%. Let their imagination finish the rest. Because what the mind completes, it becomes attached to. Machiavelli hinted that the most feared rulers weren't those who shouted commands, but those whose silence made others question their intentions. It's not what you say that moves people, it's what they think you mean. Whisper this to yourself. My mystery is my magnet. My silence is my weapon. I do not chase attention. I attract it by being unreadable. You've learned how to make people wonder about you, but there's a higher form of psychological warfare. Making them trust you while you remain untouchable. We'll uncover the trust illusion, how to make anyone believe you're on their side, even when you're not. Number 6, the trust illusion, how to make anyone believe you're on their side, even when you're not. Every empire was built on one illusion, trust. The wolf wears a shepherd's cloak. The spy smiles before the strike. The strategist nods in agreement, while quietly rearranging the board. People don't follow truth. They follow connection. And when you understand how to forge that illusion, you can guide anyone without them ever realizing it. Type this in the comments before we begin. I am trusted but never predictable. Because from this point on, you'll stop seeking approval and start earning obedience. The Machiavellian principle of trust. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous." He didn't mean to hate humanity. He meant to understand it. People trust not because you're honest, but because you reflect what they need to see. To earn trust, don't prove your loyalty. Mirror their desire. A man trusts the one who validates his importance. A woman trusts the one who echoes her emotion. People aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to the version of themselves that feels safe around you. Whisper this. I don't demand trust. I design it. I listen. I mirror. I lead. They see themselves in me. And through that reflection, they obey. The 3 laws of controlled trust. 1. The law of reflection. People trust those who seem similar. Subtly mimic tone, pace, or word choice. They'll feel connection without understanding why. 2. The law of disclosure. Reveal a small vulnerability early. It disarms suspicion and invites confession. But never expose your true weakness. Only a crafted one. 3. The law of reciprocity. Give something a perceived value. Advice, attention, or praise. The mind naturally seeks balance. They'll feel compelled to return it, often through loyalty. When you master trust, you no longer chase influence. You become influence. The silent phrase that builds loyalty. Here's the secret phrase Machiavellian strategists use in conversation. It's not, I agree. It's, I understand. I agree means submission. I understand means empathy without surrender. It tells the other person, you are seen, you are heard, and once someone feels understood, they lower every wall you could never climb. Say this now. I move unseen through trust. I influence without effort. My words disarm. My presence persuades. You've learned to make people trust you. But the next step is darker and far more powerful. Because when you can earn someone's trust, you can plant thoughts inside it. We'll uncover the subtle art of mind planning, how to make people believe your ideas are their own. Number 7. The subtle art of mind planning, how to make people believe your ideas are their own. The most dangerous power in psychology isn't domination, it's suggestion. The master manipulator doesn't force decisions, he plants them. And when the seed blooms, the target believes it grew on its own. That is mind planting, the art of influence so subtle, they'll fight to defend your idea, thinking it was theirs. Type this before we continue. My words plant, my silence grows. Because after this, you won't argue convince. You'll whisper to command. The Machiavellian truth about influence. Machiavelli wrote, the wise man does what he can, not what he wishes. But true wisdom, he implied, is in making others wish what you can. When you plan an idea skillfully, resistance vanishes. The mind defends what it believes it created. That's why suggestion is more powerful than persuasion. Persuasion pushes. Suggestion invites. Say this. I plant ideas, not arguments. I lead thoughts without force. They think, but I guide the thinking. The 3 stages of mind planting. 1. The seed stage, frame the desire. Start by identifying what they already want. Never introduce a foreign idea. Attach yours to their existing desire. You want to be respected, right? That's the soil. 2. The water stage, suggest, don't state. Replace commands with questions. Instead of, you should do this, say, would it make sense if? The brain drops its defenses and begins exploring your idea as its own. 3. The bloom stage, reinforce ownership. When they echo your idea, agree as if it came from them. That's brilliant. I hadn't thought of it that way. Now the seed is theirs, and they'll protect it. Every great leader, every manipulator, every genius. Learn to guide others without force. The silence trick. Silence is the fertilizer of ideas. After suggesting something, pause. Don't rush to explain. Let the mind fill the gap. The moment of silence triggers introspection. Their brain starts owning the thought. And once ownership happens, persuasion is over. Machiavelli used silence as strategy. He'd say little and watch men reveal themselves trying to fill the void. Every second of silence made his influence grow deeper. Invisible but absolute. Whisper this. I speak less but mean more. My silence guides their thoughts. My words are seeds. My calm is the soil. You've learned to plant ideas like seeds. But power doesn't stop there. The next level is bending perception itself. Crafting reality so people see what you want them to see. We'll unlock the reality frame. How to make people live inside your version of truth. Number 8. The reality frame. How to make people live inside your version of truth. Most people don't see reality. They see what someone else has framed for them. A belief, a headline, a carefully crafted narrative. And the master of dark psychology knows this truth. Whoever controls a frame controls the world inside it. You don't change people's minds. You change the lens they think through. After this, you'll stop reacting to the world and start building it. The Machiavellian blueprint. Machiavelli wrote, men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. The deception he meant wasn't about lies. It was about framing. When you define what's normal, good, or true, people subconsciously adjust themselves to fit it. You set the borders of the map, and they live inside it, believing they drew it themselves. Whisper this right now. I no longer live in their frame. I build my own world. I speak and reality bends. The 3 laws of reality framing. 1. The law of context. Context shapes truth. If you control the setup, how something appears, you don't need to argue facts. Change the stage, and the scene rewrites itself. 2. The law of confidence. Reality belongs to whoever acts most certain. The mind assumes confidence equals correctness. Doubt your words, and they collapse. Speak like a ruler, and the world rearranges around your tone. 3. The law of continuity. Keep your message consistent, not perfect, but stable. Repetition turns fiction into familiarity. And familiarity feels like truth. If this is awakening something in you, hit like and comment. I build frames, not arguments. Because every time you speak with certainty, someone else's version of truth quietly collapses. The dark psychology behind reality control. Every influencer, ruler, and manipulator uses the same technique. Define the story first. Once you define it, people spend all their time reacting inside it. They argue the details, never the frame itself. It's like placing them in a maze and letting them believe they're exploring freedom, when in truth, every path leads where you intended. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't fight perception, he designed it. And that's what separates those who follow reality from those who create it. Say this with quiet conviction. My confidence is law. My words are structure. My reality becomes theirs. You've learned how to create a frame, a world others can't help but live in. But the next level of Machiavellian mastery goes even deeper. Because real power isn't how they see you. It's in how they feel when they do. We'll reveal the emotional frequency, how to control the mood of every room you enter. Number 9, the emotional frequency, how to control the mood of every room you enter. You felt it before. Someone walks into a room. They don't say a word, but everyone turns. Conversation's quiet. Energy shifts. You can't explain it. Yet you feel their presence like a magnetic pull. That's not confidence. That's emotional dominance. A hidden power that bends the tone of the room to match your energy. And if you master this, you won't just influence people. You'll steer their emotions without ever lifting a finger. Comment below, I control the frequency. The room moves with my energy. Say it with conviction, because from now on, you'll stop absorbing people's moods and start setting them. The Machiavellian understanding. Machiavelli observed that the ruler's temperament sets the tone of the kingdom. If the ruler is calm, his people feel safe. If the ruler is erratic, chaos ripples downward. The same law governs every human group. Offices, relationships, friendships. The most emotionally stable person always leads. Why? Because humans unconsciously sync their nervous systems. Whoever maintains emotional control commands the other's biology. Whisper this: my calm is power. My presence sets the tone. I am the signal, not the noise. The 3 dark laws of emotional dominance. 1. The law of stillness. Stillness unnerves people. In chaos, everyone rushes to fill silence, but the one who stays calm appears untouchable. Your stillness tells the world, I am unbothered. I am certain. That silence becomes control. 2. The law of energy reversal. Never match someone's anxiety or anger. Reverse it. When they come at you emotionally charged, remain neutral. Even slow your tone. The subtle contrast forces their nervous system to sink downward toward yours. 3. The law of vibration. Emotions are contagious frequencies. If you radiate confidence, calm, and direction, others will unconsciously harmonize with your vibration. You don't push energy, you project it. Every time you practice emotional restraint, you weaken control others have over you and strengthen the empire within. The dark psychology behind energy control. People don't follow logic, they follow emotion. The leader of any group isn't the smartest. It's the one whose emotional frequency feels the safest and strongest. So when you walk into a room, your body language, your breathing, your tone, all broadcast a signal. If your signal is low, anxious, uncertain, you get absorbed by others. But if your signal is dominant, calm, deliberate, confident, others instinctively adjust to you. Say this quietly to yourself: my energy is law. My calm commands. My emotions move nations. You've learned how to control the emotional field around you. But Machiavelli didn't stop there. He understood something darker. Power doesn't just come from calm. It comes from contrast. We'll explore the dual mask, how to be loved and feared at the same time. Because true rulers don't choose between love and fear. They use both like instruments. Number 10, the dual mask. How to be loved and feared at the same time. Everyone wants to be loved, but love alone makes you predictable, and fear alone breeds rebellion. The true Machiavellian learns to wear both, love and fear, as masks that never slip. One inspires loyalty, the other ensures obedience. And when you master both, people protect you and never dare to cross you. Comment this right now: I wear the dual mask. I am loved and feared in perfect balance. Because from today, you won't beg for approval. You'll control it. The Machiavellian understanding. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But hidden in that sentence is a second truth. If you can be both, you become untouchable. Because love makes people loyal, and fear keeps them from testing that loyalty. You become a paradox. Warm enough to attract, but powerful enough to command. Whisper this: my kindness disarms. My power commands. I am loved for my warmth and respected for my silence. The 3 laws of the dual mask. 1. The law of warm presence. Use warmth as strategy, not surrender. Smile, but not too often. Speak softly, but with intent. Warmth should feel like a privilege, not a constant. 2. The law of silent boundaries. Never explain your limits. Enforce them silently. Fear doesn't come from shouting. It comes from unpredictable calm. The moment people sense your line can't be crossed, your authority hardens. 3. The law of controlled contrast. Alternate between compassion and command. Praise those who align with you, and go ice cold when they test you. This contrast keeps people on edge and their respect alive. Duality isn't deception, it's control. Control of how people feel, react, and remember you. The psychology behind the dual mask. Humans crave both safety and authority. They want a leader who makes them feel seen, but also slightly afraid to disappoint. When you embody that balance, they'll chase your validation endlessly. This is a psychological hook every manipulator uses. Intermittent reinforcement. Be warm enough to draw them close. Then withdraw, just long enough for them to crave your approval again. They won't call it manipulation. They'll call it mystery. Say this quietly to yourself: I am warmth and power in one. I command respect through calm. I am both the flame and the shadow. You've learned to wear the dual mask, to control hearts through love and minds through fear. But Machiavelli taught one final mastery of the self, the ability to feel nothing when emotion becomes weakness. We step into the abyss of control, the art of emotional detachment, how to stay powerful and unbothered in any situation. Number 11, the art of emotional detachment, how to stay powerful and unbothered in any situation. The most dangerous person in the room isn't the loudest, it's the one who feels nothing. They can't be provoked. They can't be manipulated. They can't be rushed. While others panic, they simply observe. That is emotional detachment, the art of seeing everything, but being moved by nothing. When you master it, no one will ever control you again. Comment this right now. I control my emotions. My silence is my weapon. Because from today forward, no one earns your reaction. You decide when and if they get it. The Machiavellian understanding. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command himself." The one who controls their emotions controls the room. Because every manipulator depends on one thing, your reaction. They feed off your outrage, your defensiveness, your fear. But when you give them nothing, no anger, no weakness, no movement, they lose all power over you. Say this quietly. I feel deeply but respond wisely. I am calm under pressure. I am untouchable. The 3 laws of emotional detachment. 1. The law of observation. When emotion hits, don't say I'm angry. Say, I notice anger. The moment you name emotion as something separate, you move from being inside it to being above it. 2. The law of delayed reaction. Wait 3 seconds before speaking when you feel emotional. This pause rewires your brain from reaction to response. And that single moment can change outcomes forever. 3. The law of strategic emotion. Never show emotion reactively, only intentionally. Use empathy, charm, or silence as weapons. But never because you were provoked, always because you chose to. This isn't coldness, it's control. And control is the root of power. The dark psychology of detachment. Emotional detachment makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability breeds respect. People fear what they cannot read. When you react emotionally, they can map your patterns. But when you remain calm under insult, delay under pressure, and smile when others expect rage, you become psychologically untouchable. That's when the manipulator starts to doubt themselves. And doubt destroys control. Say this now. I am calm, aware, and in command. I do not chase, I attract. I am silent power. You've now mastered your inner world. Your emotions no longer own you. But there's one more battlefield Machiavelli understood better than anyone: perception. Because once you control what people feel about you, you can control how they see you. We'll uncover the law of image and perception, how to control what the world sees and thinks about you. Number 12, the law of image and perception, how to control what the world sees and thinks about you. You are not who you think you are. You are who the world believes you are. And that belief shapes how they treat you, respect you, and remember you. Most people spend their lives trying to be understood. The Machiavellian spends his life controlling what is understood, because perception isn't truth, it's power. From this moment on, you stop explaining yourself and start designing yourself. The Machiavellian understanding. Machiavelli wrote, "Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see but few can feel." He meant this: people don't care who you really are. They only care about what you seem to be. The wise understand this and weaponize it. Every look, every word, every silence becomes deliberate. Your clothes speak before your mouth does. Your posture declares what your confidence won't say out loud. The Machiavellian doesn't leave reputation to chance. He engineers it. Say this quietly. I design my image with purpose. I am the sculptor of perception. The world sees what I allow. The 3 laws of image control. 1. The law of mystery. Never let people fully figure you out. Mystery breeds fascination. The less they know, the more they imagine, and imagination amplifies power. 2. The law of consistency. Your image must match your message. The Machiavellian repeats visual and verbal cues until people believe them. Appear calm, they'll call you wise. Appear certain, they'll call you strong. 3. The law of silence and symbolism. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than charisma. A still gaze, a deliberate pause, a subtle nod. These micro-expressions build more authority than 1,000 explanations. If this message resonates, comment, "I am the architect of perception," because image is not vanity, it's strategy. And when you control the lens through which the world sees you, you no longer chase validation. You define it. The dark psychology behind image. The human brain fills gaps with stories. When you leave spaces in who you are, people project their desires and fears into those spaces. Some will call you brilliant. Others will call you dangerous. Either way, they'll be talking about you. And when people can't stop talking about you, you've already won the perception game. Say this now. My image is my strategy. I decide how the world sees me. I am the illusion that becomes reality. You now control the outer world, the eyes, the whispers, the stories. But Machiavelli knew, power isn't just about being seen. It's about how long you last. We'll uncover the law of adaptability, how to shapeshift without losing power, because survival in a changing world demands one thing above all else: flexibility disguised as consistency. Number 13, the law of adaptability, how to shapeshift without losing power. The oak tree stands tall until the storm breaks it. The reed bends and survives. The world belongs not to the strongest, but to the one who can change form without losing identity. Power is not permanence. It's the ability to evolve faster than the world can threaten you. The Machiavellian principle. Machiavelli observed that the greatest rulers weren't statues carved in stone. They were shadows that could move. When times demanded cruelty, they were cold. When times required mercy, they smiled. They weren't fake, they were strategic. To adapt isn't to betray yourself. It's to remain effective while others cling to pride and fall. Say this aloud. I adapt. I transform. I remain unstoppable. Because rigidity is death. And every time you adapt, you outlive another version of those who refuse to evolve. The 3 phases of adaptability. 1. Strategic flexibility. Never marry one method. What worked yesterday can destroy you tomorrow. The Machiavellian watches patterns, then shifts before others notice change is needed. 2. Emotional fluidity. Your emotions must serve you, not sabotage you. Anger, charm, empathy, they're tools. Use each when it advances your position. 3. Perceptual camouflage. Blend with your environment until you control it. Speak their language, mirror their tone, adapt their rhythm. By the time they realize you're different, it's already too late. Comment this to lock it in. I bend, I shift, I win. Because survival is not random. It's a calculated dance with chaos. The rigid crumble, the adaptable rule, the dark psychology behind adaptation. The brain fears change, but the Machiavellian trains his mind to crave it. He becomes unpredictable, yet always composed. That unpredictability confuses enemies, intrigues allies, and ensures he's never fully outmatched. When people can't predict your next move, they stop trying to control you. Whisper this to yourself. I am evolution in motion. I adjust, advance, and endure. I never resist change. I command it. You've mastered the art of bending without breaking. But Machiavelli warns, every adaptation must serve one thing, your endgame. We'll uncover the heart of strategy itself. The law of anticipation, how to see power moves before they happen. Because the ultimate power is not reaction, it's prediction. Number 14, the law of anticipation, how to see power moves before they happen. Power doesn't belong to those who react fastest. It belongs to those who saw it coming first. Every betrayal, every downfall, every empire that collapsed, the signs were always there. But most people are too busy living in the moment to see the moment after. The Machiavellian doesn't just move through time. He plays ahead of it. The Machiavellian principle. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The difference between winning and losing isn't power. It's timing. The one who anticipates the next wave. Command to see itself. Say this aloud or type in the comments. I see before others see. I move before others move. Because foresight isn't luck, it's a muscle, and you're about to strengthen it. The 3 dimensions of anticipation. 1. Psychological foresight. Study people, not moments. Learn their habits, their fears, their triggers, because behavior repeats. When you understand why someone acts, you'll always know what they'll do next. 2. Strategic delay. The impatient act when emotions scream now. The powerful wait until the moment screams inevitable. The delay is not weakness. It's control disguised as stillness. 3. Environmental awareness. The world always whispers before it shouts. Trends, emotion, alliances, they shift subtly before exploding. The Machiavellian watches for microsignals, tone changes, pauses, glances. Every small detail tells a larger story. Once you master anticipation, you stop living in reaction and start existing in control. The dark psychology behind it. Most people expose their next move through emotion. They reveal their plan when angry, hopeful, or afraid. But you will learn to listen beyond words. The Machiavellian doesn't just observe behavior. He decodes it. He watches tension build in the shoulders, hesitation in speech, and silence in timing, until every person around him becomes an open book. Say this softly. I am never surprised. I am prepared, patient, and precise. The fool rushes into the storm. The Machiavellian builds a ship before it hits. You've learned to see ahead, to predict, to prepare, to strike when others blink. But there's one final transformation Machiavelli speaks of. The ultimate weapon of the modern ruler. The law of the final mask. Becoming so composed, no one can read you. Because when no one can read your face, no one can predict your fate. Number 15, the law of the final mask. Becoming so composed, no one can read you. What's more powerful than control? Mystery. People can fight what they understand, but they fear what they can't read. When no one can predict your emotions, your reactions, or your motives, they lose balance. And in that imbalance, you rule. The psychological power of the mask. Machiavelli understood something few ever will. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The mask isn't deception. It's protection. The world tries to decode you. Your tone, your expression, your silence. But when your emotions become unreadable, you turn yourself into a psychological mirror. People only see their own reflection in you. Say this in the comments or whisper quietly. I am calm, unreadable, and in complete control. Because silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of the mind too powerful to be understood. The 3 faces of power. In every game of influence, there are 3 faces you must master. 1, the outer face, what they see. This is your projection. Composed, grounded, controlled. Never let emotion leak unless it serves your purpose. The calmest face wins the loudest argument. 2, the inner face, what you know. This is your true mind, sharp, cold, precise. You know your emotions, but they don't own you. You watch, you calculate, you respond when the timing is flawless. 3, the hidden face, what no one can touch. This is your essence, the part no manipulation, threat, or flattery can reach. It's your inner fortress, built from self-respect and self-command. When you protect this face, no one can ever truly control you. The dark psychology of silence. Silence terrifies manipulators. They crave reaction. It's their validation. But when you give them nothing, they project their own fear onto you. Your calmness becomes their confusion. Your unreadability becomes their weakness. Let the world guess what you think, because while they're guessing, you're already deciding. The Machiavellian secret. Machiavelli taught that rulers must learn to act with cruelty and mercy, but never reveal which they're capable of. The true master moves without emotional broadcast. Every expression is chosen. Every silence is intentional. Every smile hides a calculation. Because when people can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. Whisper this. I am unreadable, untouchable, unshakable. I don't react, I respond. I don't chase, I attract. I don't reveal, I rule. You've reached the final threshold. From the laws of power to the art of invisibility. You've learned how to control your mind, your emotions, and your presence. But there's one last transformation left, where all 15 laws merge into one final revelation. How to become the architect of influence, the modern Machiavelli. Stay till the end, because what comes next isn't just a conclusion, it's your awakening, becoming the architect of influence. Look around you. The world hasn't changed, you have. You no longer chase validation. You command attention through presence. You walk through fear, manipulation, silence, and chaos. And you didn't flinch. You've built something rare in this era of noise. An aura, the kind that doesn't beg to be noticed. It forces people to notice. The birth of the modern Machiavelli. Machiavelli wrote The Prince for rulers of his time. But his true masterpiece was never about kings or empires. It was about you, the one who can rule emotion, perception, timing, and silence. Rules the entire game of life. You've now learned how to control attention, how to weaponize calm, how to lead without begging for followers, how to become predictably unpredictable. That's not darkness, that's design. And design is the highest form of power. Say this out loud or type it in the comments. I'm my own ruler. I command myself and the world follows. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Because power begins the moment self-control replaces self-doubt. The psychology of the architect. The modern Machiavelli doesn't manipulate out of fear. He influences out of mastery. He reads emotions without drowning in them. He adapts to perception without losing authenticity. He anticipates the move before others even think to play. He's calm when others panic. Strategic when others react. Unreadable when others seek validation. That's the aura of the architect, not built in public, but forged in silence. If you've made it this far, you're no longer just watching a video. You've entered the realm of self-mastery. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to claim it. I am the modern Machiavelli. Because from this point forward, you don't just play the game, you write the rules. The aura of dominion. Remember this truth. Power isn't given, it's radiated. You don't need crowns, thrones, or armies. Just presence, precision, patience. Because once your aura speaks louder than your words, obedience becomes voluntary. You've mastered the darkness, shaped it, and turned it into light that commands respect. The Machiavelli of the past ruled kingdoms. The modern Machiavelli rules himself. And that is the greatest kingdom of all. The game has changed. You are the architect now.